like to have a sensationalist send me a sermon on these chapters.
Oh, yes.
So there's two chapters, Corinthians and Ephesians. What's a sensationalist?
Am I saying it right? Cessationalist.
Sensationalist. What is that?
Somebody that believes, it's kind of, and there again, I could say the wrong thing here, so I'm open to correction, but I think it's somebody that believes that the Holy Spirit stopped working the way he did at Pentecost. Whoa, at Pentecost. Sorry, just hammered the mic there. And I think that, our church obviously wouldn't take that stance, and churches will land all over on the spectrum. But I'm thinking how we grew up. It's like, well, I'm not thinking, I know it, because I know that people have, probably.
Okay, so this is 1 Corinthians 14, 1 through 5. Let love be your highest goal, but you should also desire the special abilities the Spirit gives, especially the ability to prophesy. For if you have the ability to speak in tongues, you will be talking only to God, since people won't be able to understand you. You will be speaking by the power of the Spirit, but it will all be mysterious. But one who prophesies strengthens others, encourages them, and comforts them. The person who speaks in tongues is strengthened personally, but the one who speaks a word of prophecy strengthens the entire church. I wish you could all speak in tongues, but even more, I wish you could all prophesy, for prophesy is greater than speaking in tongues, unless someone interprets that you're saying, so that the whole church will be strengthened. A lot of this stuff is way above my pay grade.
Yeah, so where the question I had with that was, it goes on a long time. It's a long chapter. But I guess I struggle. I've had people bring up a verse from the Old Testament under like maybe not Levitical law, but yeah, like, something from the Old Testament, take that verse as it is and quote it as, relevant in 2025. And how come we're not following that to the letter of the law? Yet we have chapter after chapter, and I put another one on there in Ephesians 2 in the New Testament. And this is like, something like prophecy and all these gifts of the Spirit. They make us uncomfortable, or we don't agree with them. I'm like, hey, now we're all of a sudden deciding that this has stopped. I know there are some verses that speak somewhat to that. It'd be interesting to hear a sermon on that from somebody that's, like say, a lot smarter than you and I are, but just kind of, it'd be interesting to know the context of that, the real defense of saying, because it's not just here, it's like chapter after chapter, right? The rest of Paul's teaching, his all the rest of the verses that we take on, walking a moral life and not living in sin and, not having, same-sex relationships and all these things, we would all agree that's in the Bible. And then we take these texts here and we say, no, that stopped at Pentecost. And like I say, I'm sure I was just thinking as I was reading that the other day, I'm like, oh man, I'd be curious to know who.
I thought more was interesting in that sermon on Sunday about it was that every Christian, or every person, I guess, has a gift that they have that is God-given. And there's no like scales on whose gifts are more important, even though it seems like the minister or whatever, the elder has, they're more important gifts, but that everyone has a gift, and they need to be using it to
in the church
to give back.
How are you using your gifts in the church?
Yeah, and to love on the body, and not everyone's an arm or a leg or whatever, but like every part is needed, and it made me wonder, like, where am I actually giving back to the church? Like,
are you serving?
Are you
serving?
Am I serving? I do welcome desk. I don't know if that's serving, and I don't know how you define giving. Like, I don't have a specific role. I know I have the gift of being able to speak into people and encourage
your
people.
wife does Sunday school. You're fully capable of doing Sunday school. Or?
Yeah. But I don't know. Is it specifically like a position at the church, like advertises or like needs help with, or is it more than just like, hey, the church is the body, right? It's not necessarily denomination. It's like,
I think it's both. I think it's both. And I think that if it wouldn't matter where you went to church, there would be people that have a consumer attitude and are just literally there,
just to consume, just to take.
Saved and non-saved, like, I mean, whatever. But obviously in our church, it's kind of like your expectation would be that you are saved if you're going to be teaching Sunday school, or, you're not going to be like, there would be this level of, but I think the convicting part of the message was people are sitting there.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.